Hello everyone and welcome to the LSI F1 World Championship. We're today for the Dutch Grand Prix round 9, almost to the double digits, coming towards the end of the season. And maybe I'll finally get the instance sorted, but finally we are here. Sorry for the delay, we have had some technical difficulties as the controller device that I have unfortunately doesn't seem to be working too well, so it's going to take a little bit of time getting used to this. We are underway in qualifying by a fair bit now. Got a few late joiners. That's Jack Lever in the McLaren. Very good to see them. We have Bassoon, who has returned after a while to currently set the provisional pole position time. We haven't seen a race for so many, I was going to say years, as the controller disconnects. I'm just going to leave the controller and I'm going to try and do everything by keyboard. It's going to be very difficult, but I'll give it my absolute best shot. Bassoon, doing a decent job so far. And then we will go further down the order and see who else can do what. Dave Raptors. Very quick. He's been leading the championship pretty much from the get-go in the F1.5 EU Championship, and unfortunately just pushing the limits a little bit too much in that Williams. It's a very fast car, but he's going to have to take that one into the pit lane and come back out again for another run if he wants to set anything competitive. Sorry for the noise. Trying to sort that out and then we're good to go. Alright, into the pit lane he goes. I'm going to try and figure out how to use this keyboard. Robbo, his teammate in the championship, also doing a good job, just maybe getting involved in a few things and being pretty unlucky in a few occasions as well. But it is what it is. Luckily Tom Brainer's in the lobby. He's disconnected twice already, so if he does disconnect again, then it's going to be a little bit tricky. So hopefully that is the last of the issues. Robbo going to start his likely final lap of this session. Sorry for the delay, just trying to get everything up to scratch, and we are good to go at least for the rest of qualifying. Robbo is the one on track at the moment. A couple cars out on the circuit. That's Jack Lever and Tom Brainer. Everybody else on their way, or not on their way into the pit lane. They're in the pit lane, and it is quite a short lap as we take a little bit of a trip to try and shorten the lap even further, but it's actually taken a little bit longer, unfortunately. Gave it his best shot though, as we actually have a short lap around this circuit. As I was saying, it does mean that you can go out later and later and later into the session, and we do see lots of people going out very late into the session, including last time around's pole sitter in Brazil, Heischler. Can he keep up the good momentum for his home Grand Prix? A lot of people here for their home Grand Prix, because pretty much half of the F1 game population are from the Netherlands, and currently he's on top. Can he get the job done on his return and beat Zingy? It's not impossible. Zingy has beaten a few Dutchmen around this circuit, and he managed to beat Nifferjan last time around, which was a pretty tough battle. Sorry for the delays. That is Heischler, as you can see, brake dragging, warming up those tyres, getting everything ready, burn all of the fuel that you can possibly have, and making the car as light as possible with also as least tyre wear as possible. Brake dragging allows you to do that, and he's doing a pretty good job of it so far. Shouldn't be too difficult, and everybody else behind would also be doing the same thing. Now, he has got the Alfa Romeo behind him, who's going to want to try and get a hurry on. There's plenty of time in the session left, so are they going to go for the overtake, or are they just going to have to back up? I think they're going to have to back up, because Heischler is only just going full send, and they will now try and go for pole position if they can. They haven't set a lap, so it's all or nothing for Heischler. Not made it easy for himself whatsoever. First corner coming up, what can he do? Not too bad at all. pretty tidy. Maybe a little bit too far away from the inside of the apex, but other than that, it's pretty decent. Full send through here, up the banking, and on the exit, nice and smooth on the throttle. No corrections, that's absolutely perfect. Minimize the resistance as you go through the twisty section, the little S's. Down the hill, downshifting to use the engine braking, try and avoid lifting off the throttle if you can. Once again, just trusting the downforce in the car that you have to run, riding it all the way to the outside line, and then once again bringing it as far to the right as you can on the track to open up the corner. DRS available, and then we go to the final chicane where you will want to brake as late as you possibly can, cut the corner on the inside a little bit, wait for the inside on the left, and then turn, of course, and, you know, drive a car, basically. On the exit, DRS available, and now you've got a bit of a run until you get to the line, holding it nice and tight to the inside to minimise track distance yet again across the line for Heichler, and that is going to be provisional pole. Pursoon cannot beat it in the end, although he got so close. Zingy, what can he do as he comes down the final corner? Can he take pole position back? And he can! That is a brilliant job. A 3.39 indeed from him. That's Mikash into P4, Peanuts P5. And can anybody else do any better and get to Zingy in any way possible? His teammate will come around the final corner. What's it going to be for Nivajan? That's going to be P4. And that will be qualifying finally over. Nivajan is the final one to set their lap. Actually, Dave Raptors is the final one to set their lap instead. But are they setting an actual lap? That is the question. It looks like they are. DRS available for them. And across the line for the final time. That's going to be a P10 there. But that is Zingy on pole position. Not by the biggest margin, but by a nice one. It's enough. It's enough to have pole. Pursoon almost getting onto the front row there on their return. I think P3 is exactly where they were looking for. They were looking to be on the podium for the race, so this is a decent start to them for this session, for the event. Zingy takes pole position, Heichler in P2, and then Pursoon in P3. That's the rest of the grid. We'll skim through the race director just in case, and then we'll be back for the race. We'll see you in a bit. Ready, hold. Go! Who's going to get it into turn one? We are away. Zingy on pole position. Heichler in P2 pursuit. Can they get a good start? No, it's Nifojan on the inside line. And he's going to be the leading Dutch driver. He's not for long, though, as Heichler gets back through. Can he get it on the inside? I think he might be able to, but it's shortly going to become the outside. A switchback is available, but he's kind of blocked by Pursoon. He's now going to have to blast his ERS if he wants to get through, but I don't think he will. He's going to have to back off. That is going to be that. A perfect start there for Zingy. Heichler just about holding on to that P2 that he got, but Pursoon caught napping from Nifojan, who sent it on the inside. Once again, Nifojan's showing how good they are at race starts. Perfect stuff from him. We got Peanuts, Mikash and Becken. Peanuts managing to get in front. Oh no, and that's Pursoon. Pursoon is round. Does he have damage? I don't think he does. He just about missed the inside wall, if not just tapped it very lightly and didn't get any damage. Unfortunately, that's Devon Young and Jack Lever dropping back a little bit. But as we come around the final corner, that is your race leader, Zingy, 0.6 seconds in front of the rest of the field. Everybody's going to get a bit of a slipstream and a tow as they stay closely behind one another. Zingy starting on the hard tyre as he goes for the fastest lap of the race. Somebody else might try and come in and beat that very soon, as Robbo, I was just going to say, on the medium tyre would have the best shot at that. He's just overtaken Sidewinder. Pursoon also just re-overtaking Sidewinder, I should say. But obviously Pursoon, well, he's actually on the medium tyre as well. Interesting. That is Jack Lever, unfortunately, having a bit of an issue at turn 4. That is, so he's going to have to get the car turned and back on the circuit. Pursoon, though, as I was saying, I thought it was on the hards. He's actually on the medium tyre, so he would have been pretty rapid off the line. He's managed to stay in the race, but he's got a lot more work to do if he wants to get back up further field. And he's on that medium tyre against Robber, who's also on the medium tyre, so it's not going to be so straightforward to get through, and they might have to try and work together if they can. Big moment there for Pursoon, so really struggling on the throttle in the heat of the moment, but other than that, he should be good to go. 8 tenths now on lap 2 from Zingy. He's got about half a lap to try and break away from DRS range, because Heichler will get DRS on the back straight if he does stay within that 1 second range. So it's very possible here. Nifojam not far away at all from the McLaren, and they will be in a very good position to actually hold on. Very different racing lines taken by the two drivers, but very similar outcomes. So that's good to see. Peanuts P4 as they're not far away from the cars in front, but they're not mega close either, so they're just trying to keep a good pace. And you've got Mikash followed by their teammate in P6. Tom Brainer is the final hard tyre runner of this train. And then we have Pursoon and Robbo. Pursoon getting past Robbo and now looking to try and get through the hard tyre field if he possibly can. And that could be very possibly done. Zingy did not manage to break away from DRS range for Heichler. That doesn't help his teammate out, but it does help him out in a way, because now Nifojan's not going to be able to get an opportunity to show his pace. But DRS available. ERS is being slightly used from Nifojan just to make sure that he keeps the pressure on. Nifojan going for the fastest lap right there. Pursoon immediately takes it away. No surprise, as he is on that medium tyre, and the lead medium tyre runner, I should mention again and again and again. And hopefully we can see some moves on this yellow wall tyre at some point soon. We do have a battle just up in front that's pretty close, which does make it difficult to overtake on the straight, but it also does make it more possible to actually get moves done in the corners, because if you've got cars up ahead that are slowing down, it's just impossible to brake late and, you know, take advantage. So if you've got the extra grip, you're gonna be absolutely loving it. You will be able to take advantage of the harder tyre. Now, he would have to use a lot of energy if he wanted to make the move on this corner, so he's gonna have to wait a little bit longer, and if he can get the momentum out of the final corner, he could possibly well get a move. But we're gonna watch for the top 3 now, as we see Nifojam rather close to Heichler yet again. DRS still available for the McLaren, but they're still pretty close to the rear end of the McLaren. No, they're going to have to stay behind a little bit longer. Unfortunately, they will not be able to make that move. They're so close. They've picked up the pace in the Fidjan. They've done a great job in the last 2 races already, and I know we haven't actually finished this race, but they have done a great job so far. I know it's only lap 5, but their pace is a lot better than it has been in the past. Now, Pursuit, not able to get close enough. The DRS train is absolutely killer around this circuit. The lead of this train is Peanuts in P4 at the moment. He's just trying to hang on to DRS, and that is unfortunately Tom Brain around, and that is going to be him bottoming out on the curb and sent to the Shadow Realm. That will allow everybody to overtake. He's going to rejoin, and he will only not lose out to Jack Lever. Everybody else, unfortunately, will pass him. Good news for them, but not great news for him. That does mean Bassoon's now P7, and he is going to have Beacon to overtake next. Can he get a good enough exit? That's the question. I don't think he will. Not in a train like this. Nifojan, yet again, nice and close, but in a DRS train, it's impossible for them to work this out. And Peanuts just about holding on to DRS, so that does help them. I say just about holding on to DRS. I don't know if they actually did, but that will help them defend from Mikash. Mikash, I think at this stage of the race, lap 6 out of 36, they're probably going to be thinking a bit more of the long game rather than just going for overtakes, because they're so close to the top guys. They're just maybe within DRS if they can get a few good corners up in the next sector. But yeah, maybe me saying that, I've actually thought, you know what, Mikash might be thinking, I'm a bit quicker than you, I can actually catch up to the guys ahead, so I might try and make a move. But that would bank on, of course, Peanuts not fighting it. Peanuts is a smart guy, so I think he probably would think about that, but whether he is thinking of it at exactly this moment, that is the question. DRS is available there for Peanuts on the back straight. I don't think it's going to be available on this straight though, unfortunately. I think he's going to miss out, so this is going to be an opportunity here for Mikash to make a move. Also maybe an opportunity for Nifajan, but we stay on board with this battle. Will he send it to the inside late on the brakes into turn 1? He will not. He will stay behind and let it be. So Peanuts lives to fight another day, and his teammate is just sat there watching, ready for something to happen, because he could possibly capitalise on, as I repeat, the double overtake, the golden opportunity, what you always want to do, and you know that will be received very well by everybody watching, of course. On the softer compound, on the medium tower, I should say. He's right there, sending it to the inside as the Aston Martin to put the pressure on the Alpine, and that all of a sudden closes up Pursoon massively. And will he possibly go for the move here? With ERS, he's not going to try and use an ERS, but he's not even going to go for the overtake anyway. I think he's going to wait for maybe not the double overtake, but the triple overtake very shortly, if it's possible. These guys are fighting. Actually, Nifojan loses out to Heichler, and Heichler catches back up to Zingy after momentarily losing out there. And that is going to be Mikash finally going for that move. Will Beacon try and get involved? I think he's going to let his teammate go. Now, Mikash, can he catch up to the top 3? Can he push Nifojan a bit harder so he can catch up? I'm not entirely sure, but what a job there for Heichler. Catches up to Zingy and does drop Nifojan. That being said, Nifo has just caught up nicely, so maybe there's some team tactics going on. Maybe Zingy dropped back and allowed Nifo to get back in the train. I'm not entirely sure, but anyway, it is what it is. He does have DRS at the moment, as long as he can keep it within the next few corners. It does risk him losing the lead of the Grand Prix if he's not careful, though. That is something to think about. We've got the two Astons close together, but not switching for now. Lots of energy in the car for Beacon. Energy-wise, not so much there for Peanuts, so they might have to try and think of some sort of solution, otherwise they could lose out significantly. The top 3 stay as they are. That is going to be a yellow flag for Sidewinder, as he unfortunately goes off just on the exit of, is that turn 10? And here we go, maybe a move for the lead. He's not going to go for it. Lap 9 out of 36, nowhere near getting a pit stop in. Why would you go for an overtake at this point in the race? It's no point. You're not really going to gain or lose too much time to the other cars. You're almost going to go into the back of the car in front. But other than that, there's no point. You can relax, you can sit here. Don't get any track limit warnings, although you shouldn't be getting any track limit warnings at the Netherlands because it's virtually impossible to actually get any track limit warnings. You will be punished anyway if you try to exceed track limits just by the nature of the circuit. The R is available. The top three, as you can see, in a bit of a sandwich is Heisler. Are they communicating with one another? I'm not entirely sure for today's race, but the two AlphaTauris are at least working not too bad. Retirement in the pit lane there for Jack Lever. No safety car will be deployed. Everybody's eyes will have been pointing towards the race, to the track map just momentarily there to try and see what's going on. Hopefully no one gets distracted by the AI car that will leave the pit lane at some point. We'll have a quick look just to make sure. But other than that, we'll be good to go. That is an inside move there for Devon Young. Devon Young going to go for the lead of the train over Dave Raptors. Dave Raptors, these guys have been fighting so much in the EU Championship, and that is going to be Tom Brainer retiring and causing a safety car. A full safety car is deployed. He was in this battle. He's not in the battle anymore. And that does mean it's going to be time for a strategy change. A medium tyre is very, very difficult to make to the end. You can go to the hards. So this man right here is going to be looking for a very good result at the moment. He's going to go onto the hards. He can go to the end very easily. Will Zingy pit, or is he going to stay out? He's in a bit of a difficult situation. He kind of needs to pit, but it's also not early enough. So you just have to pray. You sort of have to pray that there's another safety car. Otherwise, Pursuit is just going to win this Grand Prix. I'm not entirely sure how it's going to work. They go into the pit lane. They're going to go for the medium tyre. There's no other question about it. And we'll find out. Pursuit definitely going into the pit lane. It's the obvious choice, and he can go to the end. It's not going to be the easiest, by the way. You know, you can still get to the end on these medium tyres, and Pursuit still has to make all these overtakes. He's got a lot of medium tyre runners around him who will be going fairly quickly. He's not got an easy job whatsoever, but he is P6. If he can pick one or two off eventually and just not allow the pack to break away, which they haven't broken away so much so far, then he might actually be okay. It might not be the worst idea. Alrighty. Sorry for the delay there, we're good to go. And Zingy leads the way on the medium tyre, pretty standard. We will be going racing within the next lap, I reckon, not this lap. So we will go back to racing on lap 13 out of 36. A bit under the halfway mark of the Grand Prix. Zingy is the one to still lead the way, and he is the king of restarts, as we say pretty much every week, because he is usually leading the restart. And we could see a decent amount of reaction from Nifajan, because although they may not be communicating, they might be communicating, they do know each other and their racing ways, so they will understand what's going to go on more or less between the two. Heisler might not have that advantage, and they could probably get a pretty good reaction time, Nifajan, as long as they're paying attention themselves, of course. Everybody's brought back into play. Everybody's on a level playing field. No time penalties. It's all just about tyres, strategy, straight line speed, just general setup and energy. That is what is at stake. No time penalties so far, and all the gaps are going to be erased. Everybody's going to be right next to each other, and you're going to be going for a restart on a banked section, which is never easy. It always seems to cause some sort of issue, so they've got to try their best to stay single file after the restart, and then once you pass the finish line, then you can do whatever you want, of course, as long as it's not illegal, into the first corner. And Heischler is going to be the one to look at doing illegal things into the first corner. As long as they're not going for the overtake, then they'll be absolutely fine. But there's the confirmation. The safety car in this lap. Zingy's the one to go for the restart, and Heischler is the one to react. When will he go for it? We know Zingy, he likes to go very, very early on. Allows the car to bunch up and stack up on one another. The safety car's still got a bit of a way to go though, so they're not going to have much choice to do anything. They're just fake weaving those tyres just to make it a little bit unpredictable. Safety car into the pit lane just about now, and he's already gone for the restart very, very early. Perfect stuff there from Zingy. Did Nifferjan react well? He didn't react badly at all. So that is a decent gap there immediately that Zingy's managed to make. Nifferjan not going to be close enough. Everybody on absolutely a maximum ERS, and that's Bassoon going for the move on the hard tyre on a medium tyre runner. Fresh tyres, by the way. He's on the inside line. He's going full send, side by side, perfect between the two. And on the exit, he's going to have to leave the space as well. The traction down, and it's going to be available for the hard tyre just about. That is the F1.5 EU champion of the last season for you. Awesome job. Great to see him back. That is P5 for now on the hard tyre. He is looking for this win. Usually he thinks, you know, I don't really want to push too hard. I'm happy with just getting a podium. You know, podium's not going to be that easy anyway. But now he realises I've got the chance to win this Grand Prix, and it could be a very good one. Why not go for it? I don't know if he's ever won an F1 championship race. I think he's only ever won in F1.5, so he's going to try and change that today. It is weird to say that Bassoon hasn't ever won an F1 race, only ever F1.5. He is a very, very good driver who might get re-overtaken immediately by the Aston Martin if they're not careful, but nope, they will hold back for now. That is Bassoon securing that move, so well done indeed. Everybody fairly close to one another, but not close enough to really make any overtakes. We could see a bit of a battle here between Devon Young and Robbo, but nope, they will stay as they are. On the exit though, that is going to be Devon Young, nice and close, almost interlocking tyres, both drivers. They go side by side through the S's to the outside line. That will be Devon Young, almost pushed off the circuit between the two. A switchback isn't available. There's a love tap right there. That is going to be Robbo just about holding on to the position, and Devon Young will have to wait a little bit longer. They will have DRS within the next few laps, but for now they will stay as they are. Would we get a move from Bassoon? We're not going to get a move from Bassoon. We could get a send. No, we're not going to get a send. No one's going to send it at this stage of the Grand Prix. Why would you? Mikash is going to be in an interesting spot, because they're going to have a lot of pressure from behind, as they will probably be attacked by the Alfa Romeo. That being said, the Alfa Romeo has dropped back a little bit. DRS isn't available, and they do have an Aston on their tail, so they're going to have to push to the absolute maximum. Here we go, the Swedish driver to the outside line. Peanuts, can he get the job done? Go around the outside? No, he can't. Well defended there from the Alfa Romeo. And Bassoon will live to fight another day and try and get a second chance at going for a move here on Mikash. They're very close. They're not close enough. They do need a little bit more if they want to catch up to the top three. And, well, as long as they're in clean air and not the slower driver out of the train, then they can actually minimise their time loss and then come back later on, which they will do in this race. They definitely will come back. It's just whether it will be enough. it's going to be pretty late on in the race, so they're going to have to go aggressive, unfortunately. But it's definitely not a bad place to be in. It's better to be aggressive and have a chance at winning than having no chance at winning whatsoever. Eichler loses out a little bit to Zingy, and that does mean Nifojan is very, very close, but still all within DRS range, so not possible to catch up too much, and Eichler will catch up a lot to Zingy into turn 1 as he has the DRS to give him that advantage. But other than that, it's going to be as it is. That is going to be pursued to the inside, and a pretty straightforward move, I say, on Mikash, but Pursoon losing the rear very, very slightly. They hold it, and now let's see, do they have the pace in that car to break away with that medium tyre? They don't have the energy, that's for sure, so they've used a lot of resources to try and get past these cars. 2.4 seconds. Watch how that gap changes, if it changes whatsoever. To Aston splitting up a little bit, almost out of DRS range is Becken, and that could be crucial because Devon Young has got past Robbo, and he's going to be looking to try and catch up to the Astons. He's also on that hard tyre, and that will mean he can come back a little bit later on into the Grand Prix. Notoriously, the Netherlands is very, very prone to causing your tyres to heat up. I should say Zandvoort is usually very prone to heating tyres up. This game I haven't felt it as much myself, but I haven't raced for a while, so I can't really say. But generally, in the past, the harder tyre didn't do that badly because the softer tyre just got so hot. It was so difficult to manage. We're not going to get any overtakes this lap. It will just be as it is. We could get a possible send. We will get a send just there, but backing out as a little bit of contact. I think that was Devon Young holds the car in a straight line, and he will continue. That's going to be Robbo into the wall, losing his front wing, and that is going to be him down the order, unfortunately. That is a hell of a shame. We just saw him in the background. I thought we would have got a bit of a battle, but unfortunately he's just going to drop down the order and have to let the other cars go through if he can. Nice and safely, of course. Sidewinder up into the points now. Good to see them getting at least something on the board. Yeah, they are a very good driver. It's just they haven't had too much time in the game recently. So yeah, it's good to see them back, and I'm sure we'll see them back onto usual form within a few races. So welcome back, Sidewinder, and hopefully we can see you up there. Zingy leads the way, and it's not that easy. There's a bit of a train behind. Nifojan's thirsty as well. They're all looking for the toe, and that's almost contact. That's an opportunity spotted by Nifojan. He's got the inside line, but he's going to have to back off at some point. He will not be able to get to the inside, but will be a mistake there for Eichler. And yet again, another opportunity here for Nifojan. That's a yellow. Dave Raptor spins off in the background, but this is the battle to watch. Nifojan just didn't get it on the exit, but spotting an opportunity as Eichler makes a mistake, braking a little bit too late and spooking himself as he almost crashed into the back of Zingy. Top three, they are on no racing line, all of these guys, so no assist whatsoever. They're going full hardcore. This is the pinnacle. And DRS is available, but no overtakes will be done. Eichler wants to sit behind Zingy. They don't really want to be pushing too much. They want to relax and then fight later on. But they have the pressure of Nifojan. That's why you can see they're using a bit of energy. They don't want to be P3 in the train, but they also don't want to overtake, so they have to try and manage it. And it's not the easiest thing. When you have two cars around you, in front and behind, you get that pressure, which is so difficult to manage. But well managed, at least so far, from Eichler, and also from Zingy, because Zingy, he's got two cars behind him. If he lets one go, he'll probably let two go. Nifojan, he's just got to try and wait for the opportunity. So he's just kind of like bored at the moment, just waiting for these two cars to do something, and then he can fight. Lots of pressure on the top two. Zingy, of course, having track position, he's got a lot to think about because he wants to try and hold on track position-wise, which he can do around this circuit. It's very possible to do so, but it's not the most straightforward thing in this game, with ERS and DRS being fairly powerful when put together. So, you know, he doesn't have an easy job. No one has an easy job. This guy doesn't have an easy job. I'm trying to make it sound like he does, but he doesn't. You are still waiting. You are still trying to keep concentration and then spot an opportunity, which he might actually have now as he's using the energy. The DRS is available and he's got enough speed. He's going to have to get his teammate to defend to the inside, but instead Zingy's going to get double overtaken if he's not careful. His teammate backs out. There's contact between the McLaren and the AlphaTauri, and that is going to be Nifojan backing out but managing to get in front of Zingy, and out of a very, very, very weird overtake that just occurred, Heischler's come out on top. Nifojan's up to P2 and Zingy's in P3. I was just talking about how hard it is to manage in P1 and P2, and in the end Nifojan has managed to find himself into that second spot where you really want to be. But Zingy's down the order. I don't understand a thing that just happened then. That was very, very strange. Zingy, is he going to be looking to try and make an overtake on his teammate soon? I'm not sure, but he was hoping that he could defend from the McLaren and allow his teammate to get alongside, and then they could take the top two spots. Instead, he defended to the middle, and Heischler was able to get to the inside line, and then he was just a sitting duck. There was a bit of contact, which caused him to lose a lot of momentum. That is going to be Nifojan looking for another overtake, not using as much ERS this time. They don't have too much available, but they have the DRS and the pure ability to go for it. That's Heischler misjudging the switchback, making contact with the back of Nifo and possibly receiving himself some damage if he's not careful. You can see Zingy looking for those different lines to try and get the traction, and it's not a bad effort whatsoever. He's got the energy to use, and he's forcing Heischler to put the pressure on. He's going to have to put the pressure on his teammate, is Zingy, but Heischler's going to have to use energy to stay in that P2 position, which according to Zingy is great because he's got everything to use in this battle, and that was a little bit of a tricky moment there. Nifojan losing the car and Heischler just having to react, and Zingy also having to react to two cars in front of him slowing down suddenly in an awkward manner, just about keeping it on circuit. And yet again we're going to see another opportunity for some overtakes, and I do usually go behind, but I want to look at this, and I also want to acknowledge the fact that these guys fighting so hard has brought Pursoon back into this race, so this is only going to make it easier for him at the moment. DRS available here for Heischler. Is he going to go for the move on his on Nifojan? He will. His fellow countryman to the outside line looking for the switchback. Zingy's going to try and spot it on the inside line, prevents him from going for a move. Nifojan loses the car, but just about stays within this race. That returns the lead to Heischler there. Nifojan trying their best, but getting a little bit too trigger happy on that throttle, and that does allow a bit of a gap to form and bring Pursoon into the battle, into the DRS train, and in turn, the entire grid, more or less. Of course, we have a couple cars off at the back, but more or less, a lot of the grid are now with us. So that is going to be a 7-car train, all for the lead. All of a sudden on lap 22 of the 36, and Pursoon is the lead hard tyre runner, and they have a huge advantage. These guys fighting, they're going to use energy, they're going to use tyres, they're going to use concentration. Pursoon is just good to go. He's been faster than the cars behind, he's just been dragging everyone along, and now he can relax even more. No energy left for Nifojan. Zingy is going to make that move now, and that will be Heischler returning back to P2, and I don't think Nifojan will be able to make the move as well. They're not going to be able to work together and open a door for one another, so they will stay as they are, and we're back to the original order, but instead we have Pursoon within DRS range, and I'm going to say it again, this is an incredible opportunity. He's now got the DRS, you can see energy-wise he's not got the most in that car, so this allowed him to start thinking about saving. He's not going to be faster just yet, but he's going to be faster at some point soon, and they're fighting yet again, so it's only going to help him. Outside line again for Nifojan. He's going to try and hold it, but the door is always going to close, and DRS will be available. It's going to allow Heischler to get that traction zone. But Pursoon, he can just relax even more, so slowly you'll start to see Pursoon's energy bar leveling up, just fueling back up, percent will go up, and he will be able to go full pelt to the end of the Grand Prix compared to the rest of the grid, as they've had the less preferable pit stop window. Heischler isn't going to make the move on Zingy. I don't think they could make the move on Zingy. They're going to lose the car, and they're going to almost cause a crash as they brake a little bit too hard. They need to release the brake a bit earlier than that. That's what caused the rear locking. They've got to be careful that doesn't happen again, otherwise Nifajan could be caught in the wrong end of it, and Pursoon will be swooping through and having an even more likely chance at looking for the win at this circuit. At the home Grand Prix on return, that will be a real rub-it-in-your-face moment there if he could get it done. Big curb bounce there for Nifajan, and that is going to invite Pursoon into the battle sooner rather than later, and that is not exactly what we thought. I thought it's going to be around about lap 30 that Pursoon is going to catch up, but instead he's already there. He still needs to try and make sure that he saves energy. If he can pick off a position now and again, of course, that would definitely help, but as long as it's calculated, DRS available for Heischler to defend from Nifajan, but Nifajan's so close, he might actually try and challenge for a move to the inside unless he doesn't have enough in that car. He's going to let it go. He's going to back off. He's going to tap him very slightly as they're misjudging that speed. Of course, that is a pit stop there for Becken to go for a fastest lap, go for a soft tyre, unless everybody else is going to have to go for the softs at some point if they're going to get a puncture with their current situation. So, if that is the case, Pursoon has got this easy. There's no question about it. He's going to win this race absolutely easily. Because Becken and Peanuts, they have to pit offset to one another. They share a pit box. Zingy and Niffer have to do that as well. I don't know what's going to happen here. This is going to be an interesting one. Heischler going defensive on Nifajan, that was. So Nifajan still wants to go through. They react well as that is Heischler spinning the car, and there's all of a sudden going to be a plus 1 second gap between Zingy and Nifo, and that is going to be Zingy breaking away. DRS will not be available for Nifajan. That's going to be a very, I was going to say, easy move for Nifo to make, but actually, Pursoon to make, but actually Nifo did have DRS, but I don't think he's going to fight it. He knows that Pursoon has got the grip to catch Zingy. That is going to allow him to be dragged along. That is going to allow him to have another chance at going for a move on Zingy here. And Pursoon is only going to get quicker from this point onwards. That is a pit stop there for Peanuts. So both Astons are going for this situation. And Heischler, I'm not sure if he had to get a front wind change, but he did unfortunately lose out. And he's going to be down in P8. There's a 0.7 second gap. It looked golden for Zingy at the moment, or for a moment, but unfortunately it wasn't for long. He had an opportunity of breaking away. Pursoon has the advantage. As soon as we saw the safety car came out, we knew the advantage was going to be there. Lap 26 out of 36, and Pursoon has the DRS, and they are going to be able to catch up to Zingy and relax a little bit. That is going to be a pit stop there for Zingy. It has to happen. It has to happen. That is a crucial moment. This is going to be a perfect opportunity not only for Pursoon but Devon Young to also get amazing positions around this circuit. Devon isn't going to have to make a pit stop. He is going to be a lot slower than the other cars, so will he finish P2 or not? I'm not entirely sure. Nifajan pushing with everything he possibly can to make the most of these tyres to prevent Pursoon from relaxing too much. Maybe, just maybe, Zingy will have the tyres to be able to catch up to Pursoon at the end of the Grand Prix. We've seen it in the past. We saw Nifajan himself. He pitted. He caught up at the very final moments of a Grand Prix and overtook Dave Raptors around this circuit for the win on the final lap, on the final straight, and he won by 0.06 seconds or something absolutely mental. Could we get another photo finish here in LSI for the second week in a row? We got a long way to go, but it's not impossible. And Pursoon is still having to defend because Nifojan's not giving in. He doesn't want to give up. He's still going to try and defends the position. He's going to try and help Zingy catch up. He wants Zingy to be able to fight for the win. He knows his tyres aren't going to be able to cope unless he's going to try and stay out all the way to the end. I'm not entirely sure, but Zingy, he definitely will not be staying out to the end. He's going to be catching up, and by fighting, this allows the Scotsman to have an opportunity to actually win this Grand Prix. So another curveball is thrown, and Pursoon, although having the significant advantage, has no energy. Nifojan can see that, and he can fight even harder, even if it means that he's not going to get the best opportunity. He can allow one AlphaTauri to win this Grand Prix, and because this is the highest tier in LSI, every single position counts. Pursoon, can he get the win on return? Is it going to be possible? We will find out. We will find out if Nifojan is actually going to continue to fight this position or not. Will he go into the pit lane now? Is he going to try and think of his own race? He's not. He's still going to try and fight the position and prevent Pursoon from breaking away, but he decides this lap to actually let it go. He's actually going to let it go, interestingly. Sit behind, lap 29 out of 36. Could this be controversial? We've got Zingy making that move there on Devon Young, and that is going to be a now 13 second gap that we have between the race leader. 12 seconds right now, so he is bringing it down. That will slowly close up. Is it going to be enough? I think it could be, you know. I think it could be. We relaxed a bit too early. Zingy's quick. You know he's on that medium tyre. He's not going to have a tyre drop-off. He's not going to have overheating issues. He loves this kind of situation. The medium tyres have always been his favourite. That's Devon Young sweeping to the inside if he could, but it's not going to be possible as Becken will finally get through. As they went for that earlier pit stop, they got the undercut, and they are able to be in front of their teammate, stay in front of their teammate, and get past Devon Young. They're not past Devon Young yet, Peanuts, so they've got a bit more work to do, and they've got even more work to do if they want to also catch back up to their teammate and go for a move. But Devon Young's got DRS, so he's not going to be able to make a move whatsoever on this straight. We're going to get yet again Nifojan not going for the overtake on Pursoon, so he's still trying to hold on. I am wondering whether Mikash and Nifojan are actually trying to stay out here and go to the end of the Grand Prix. There's not enough laps to go into the pit lane now after you could have got a perfectly fine strategy. I say that, a better strategy by pitting just a few laps ago. That was Zingy not trusting the soft tyre. He went for the medium, and as I said, he always prefers that medium tyre. He's going to be able to go to the end, more consistent, get used to the car, push every lap, not have much of a drop-off, if at all, and he will have a go at fighting for this win. He is catching so much. It really depends on whether Nifojan defends. It depends on if Mikash defends, and it also depends on how much energy Pursoon has available. But it's not that easy because he is an AlphaTauri fighting him, so he wants to stay in front and lose less time. But Nifojan is being a pain in the backside here for Pursoon, and it's really not a nice way to drive, of course, when you've got somebody who's on a different strategy trying to fight you to help somebody else. You want to try and race your own race, but it's not going to be that way, unfortunately. Just about 9 seconds, more or less, that Zingy's got to catch now. He has caught a lot, but he's still got to make the overtakes. That's the thing. That is the thing, and it's not going to be so straightforward. That is going to show Pursoon that Nifojan's tyres are done. He's going to have to pit at some point, so if Pursoon can make this move one final time, I think that might be it, and Nifojan may well be dropped. Pursoon's not going to go for it just yet. He hits an invisible wall, as we've seen many times, but he will keep the car in a straight line and Nifojan is struggling so much on the rear, just about keeping in a straight line. DRS available, ERS is available for Pursoon as much as he possibly can use of it, of course. Would he go for the move? I think he should go for the move. He has to go for the move. Now, the grip isn't available for Nifojan, so he would break away if he could go for it, but he's not. He's still going to wait, and this is going to allow Zingy to catch up more and more. This is not the best way for Pursoon to deal with this, but he's a better driver than I am, so we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. He might know what he's doing after all. Zingy is only not even at the end of the straight. He's a lot closer than that already, so yeah, this is not looking the easiest of tasks. He's got a lot of pressure on him, has Pursoon, and he's not made that crucial move. Could this be the difference between him winning and losing? On the other hand, Pursoon is hoping that Nifo doesn't fight and allows him to not really gain or lose too much and maybe get to the end. He will have the DRS to help him do that. But this is the next opportunity that Pursoon has to make that overtake. He has the grip to break away, I believe. He's just got to execute it, and he has the energy, he has the DRS, he has the slipstream, he has the overspeed, he has the grip, but does he have the confidence in the braking zone? He does. And that is going to be Nifojan having to wait. You saw he wanted to get the switchback done, but the grip isn't there, and he has to correct the wheel. That is game over. That is Pursoon into the lead, and whether or not Nifo can hold on to DRS range, that doesn't really matter, because regardless, Pursoon is going to be pretty much breaking away in the corners. Zingy's made that move. He has made that move on Mikash. He's got 5 seconds to try and catch up to the top two and overtake them in just over 3 laps. Can he get that done? I think he can. 4.6 seconds, 4.5, 4.4. You can see the battling is absolutely crucial from Nifojan. He's doing exactly what he needed to do, and all of a sudden has managed to stay within DRS by quite a significant amount. So I'm very, very surprised at that, to be honest. I don't know exactly how he's actually held on. Will he be able to hold on though, or will Pursoon have enough energy to stay in front? Interestingly, Nifo hasn't gone for that move. I'm wondering whether Nifo is either trying to not lose out to Pursoon and go for the move on the final lap and focus on himself, or is he trying to actually, I'll defend for Zingy, but I'm also going to try and get a good result here. I don't know. I think he might be going for the win himself, you know. He's going to go all the way to the end on these tyres. Look at the rear. They're absolutely matte, and that just means there's no grip whatsoever. He is going a mile on these tyres. Mikash exactly the same as well. They're doing a very good job, but I don't know if it's going to be too good to be true though. We have just over 2 laps remaining of the Grand Prix, and then we will get to the closing stages. We will start the penultimate lap of the race. 3.3 seconds. Zingy's catching. It doesn't look like it will be enough. That is Pursoon breaking away all of a sudden as Nifo looked like they might have lost traction. They might have got a puncher. They go around the bank section and Pursoon lags back by 1.9 seconds. What has happened? I do not believe it. No way has that just happened. He's going to lag back behind Zingy. Nifojan, 3.3 seconds. The question is, can he hold on to the lead? And can he win in his home Grand Prix after being robbed previously against his teammate? He now has the opportunity to win. He just needs to hold on for 1.5 laps. Pursoon has been robbed from his home Grand Prix, and Zingy finds himself in the middle ground to try and upset but almost settle in a way the controversy that has just occurred. I don't understand what just happened. Pursoon, he doesn't have the advantage over Zingy. He has the DRS, but I think he's a little bit frustrated. He might have some ERS, he might be able to get involved, but I think that's going to be it. 2.5 seconds, it's the gap. Nifojan has to pray that these tyres last. 25 laps he will reach when he crosses the line to start that final lap of the Grand Prix, and 2.4 seconds is the gap that Zingy has to get. He's gonna be so quick. I don't know who's gonna win it, but it's gonna be put down to the very, very last lap yet again in LSI. This is gonna be incredible. Nipperjan leads the way. 2.1 seconds now as we go through the first corner, and oh no. I don't know. I don't really want to watch, to be honest. I don't know where to look. I don't know what to commentate on. And I thought that was a puncture. It might be a puncture here for Nipperjan. It's so close. I thought it was actually flopping about, but no. It was just a visual bug. He's done half the lap. He's got half a lap to go. Zingy has trying his best to gain all the time he can in the corners. This is the perfect sector. The middle sector is a brilliant opportunity for him to catch. But when you get past the next few corners, he's going to run out. He is going to run out big time. We're in exactly the same situation as we were before when Nipperjan won the Grand Prix. But this time, Niffo is going to be a little bit further ahead. And he's going to be the one to win the Dutch Grand Prix. Niffo wins! Wins again. He returns to the top step of the podium. Zingy P2 to make it an AlphaTauri 1-2. And Pursoon will take a bittersweet podium. He wanted the podium previously. He's not going to want the podium there. He wanted the win. He was going for the win. Nipperjan, after getting the race win taken away in the sprint from him due to lag, he's been returned the favour at his home Grand Prix. And the racing gods have blessed him. He deserves it. Don't deny it. He deserves that. But I don't know what to say. Pursoon deserves that as well. Lots of people deserved a lot more there, but this man, you have to say a massive congratulations to him. He's held on and he's finally done it. He's got back to his winning ways. Nipperjan wins again in LSI. This is it. He thought maybe next season he'd be able to do it, and there you go. He is an absolute king. Well done, Nipperjan. Niffo takes the win. Zingy in P2 with the fastest lap. Pursoon, Mikash Becken, Peanuts Devon Young, Heischler, Sidewinder Robbo, and Dave Raptors disconnecting with Tom Brainer and Jack Lever DNFing earlier on in the Grand Prix. We're going to go through the race director just in case. Not many warnings whatsoever, as it is the Dutch Grand Prix. Onto the pit stops. And we'll be back for the post-race interviews. We will see you in a bit. Hello everyone and welcome back to the LSI F1.5, not the F1.5, the LSI F1 Championship, where today for the post-race interviews of the Dutch Grand Prix we start with Devon Young. Devon, some good tyre data for tomorrow. You are driving in a slightly different car that you're used to, but you had some battles as well. We didn't quite get to see everything because we were focusing on a few other things, but can you take us through your race?
Yeah, it was quite a fun one really. Even though I was sort of like down the order a bit, it was quite interesting really. Like especially with all of the strategies going on. Like I said, some good tire data. And yeah, some nice battles with a few people. So it was quite a fun race really overall.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Do you think you're ready for tomorrow?
Yeah, I think that definitely helped. Like, just got a good idea, like of how far the hards can go, and you know what's going to work. Especially seeing like Zingy come through the pack like that. Just pitting on those mediums, it shows that obviously fresh tires are very quick around here. So yeah, I think I'm pretty prepared.
Yeah, I think that's definitely going to set us up for a pretty crazy race, because if people know that they can go aggressive on the strategy, then that always creates potential for overtakes. Alright, well, Abu Dhabi is the next race, believe it or not, because it's the final of the F1 World Championship, of course. Do you like that circuit? Not many people do. Have you raced there much, if at all?
Well, let me think. Well, to be fair, my last league race before this was Abu Dhabi, and I finished P1 there, but it was raining, so it was kind of a weird one. Like, it was a bit. I don't know if I can really like take much confidence from that.
A fantasy league race.
Yeah, pretty much. It was very bizarre, but I don't really like the track. But now I don't know. It was really fun in the rain. So I mean, if we can get some rain next week, I'll be happy. But I doubt it.
I think winning always sweetens the deal, so hopefully you can take some motivation with you for that one and get a good result. Thank you very much. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Why do I forget, man?
No worries.
No,
if you need a few more words, or if you don't have any words at all, just let us.
Okay. I'm just gonna say Robbo is trash.
Okay, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Thank you. We move on to Heischler. Heisch, that was a tough one. Very, very competitive. Qualifying was very, very close. Can you take us through it?
Yeah. When is it not a tough one, to be honest? Yeah. Quali was good. I could even get pole if I didn't fuck up my first sector, so that was good. But in the race, Zingy had just a little bit more pace, I would say. I just could stay within his DRS, but yeah, if I didn't, I would probably have fought with Niffo all the time. Yeah, he had the most pace, I would say, of this race, but then I had a classic F1 moment that you have just no force feedback, and I am just quite shit and just spin then. Yeah. I think I could have won it, but it's it's sad that it happens again.
It is sad, but yet again, you can see the potential's there, so you've definitely come a long way. Abu Dhabi, do you think you can have the advantage of that circuit? Do you like it? And if you don't like it, do you think the fact that not many people like it could give you an advantage to do well?
I don't particularly like it or hate it. But from PSGL, I know that it was a really strong track for me. So I hope it can be even better than Brazil or Zandvoort.
Fair enough. Fair enough, Rob. Thank you very much. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Classic me, or force feedback.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Good effort, and hopefully it goes better next time. We move on to Tom Brainer. Tom, it was interesting during qualifying. You couldn't find stable connection. Can you take us through your Dutch Grand Prix, please?
Yeah, with my internet, I don't know what's happening. Through the complete week, I've got good internet, and now this evening it was garbage. So I've got problems with joining and staying in. So I've got run less in qualifying. So I think I lost out a few positions there. And then in the race, because of all the internet problems I've got, the cars were teleporting around and so on, and I couldn't concentrate on the race as it is. So I just made a dumb mistake out of turn 1 and hope that tomorrow the internet is better so I can concentrate more on the track.
Do you know what the issue was?
No,
Fair enough.
definitely not.
Fair enough. Well, hopefully it gets fixed for tomorrow because it'd be really good to see you race stably tomorrow. So we'll see you then. Abu Dhabi, do you like that circuit?
I like it mediocre.
Fair enough.
It's not the worst track for me of all, but not definitely not one of my best ones or favorites. But I think that like other tracks, for example Mexico, where other drivers didn't like it so much, I can show a bit better pace in comparison.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's a way that I can be a bit more on the top than the last races.
I think that's a very good way to look at it, so I hope it goes well for you there. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words, please?
No internet and concentration.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. And we move on to Zingy. Zingy? That was tough. Strategy. Do you think you gave it your absolute best, considering the circumstances?
No. I think that I done well, yeah. I done well to catch up that, 17 something gap. And I know they were on no tyres. But I thought with about 11, 10 laps to go, wherever it was, I realised that my tyres were a bit cooked. And I thought, hey, I might as well try something different. I only expected to get P3, which was me cash. I knew I was going to catch him anyway because of the tyre difference. But I didn't expect to actually catch up.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Earlier in the race, were you trying to race, or were the other guys holding on to you quite tightly, making it difficult to break away?
I'd say it was a mix of both. Haj did have some good pace here and there, but he did make quite a few mistakes. But the DRS was just too powerful around this track, so I couldn't really pull away at all. So I just had to keep them in, and I thought, well, the best case scenario is if I can pass Haj into 1, and in the meantime compromise his line without contact. I think Niffle could have got through.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't matter anyways, obviously he made that mistake. But if that would have worked out, it would have been such more beneficial. And I don't know if I'd had to stop if that were the case.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, thank you very much, Singy. It was a great battle. Abu Dhabi, you used to like that circuit. I don't know if you still do. Do you think you can do well there? Do you still like it?
I'd say it's still enjoyable, yeah. I think it's still a good track, not only to just drive, but I think racing-wise it can cook up some good racing, so I think, yeah, it'll be a good race there. But with more places to pull away, if I do have pace there, I think I can have a bit of an easier time for myself, I hope.
Fair enough.
Because it's a bit stressful.
I mean, that hairpin at turn 5 is really looking tasty for jam pancakes to be in front of you. Thank you very much, Zingy.
No.
And one last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
AlphaTauri 1-2.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Good job.
Forwards.
And we move on to Nifo Jan. Nifo, you've done it. You've finally done it this season, not next season. You have won a race again. Can you please take us through that one? And also the emotion of the way it's happened, because obviously it's not the way you want it to happen. But you were in a very good position at the time, and also you've got a bit of redemption.
Yeah, I mean, I got so many flashbacks from this race, man. It's honestly such a good feeling to be back. First, before I forget, this was Pursuin's win. I basically just nicked it off him, just like it has done happened to me. in either positions in other leagues or sprint races in a week ago. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's sad, but I also have to be a little egotistical and be happy for myself. But I do feel very sad for him. But yeah, quali is still something to be worked on. Had a little mistake, and yeah, that cost me a lot of time. I think I wouldn't have beaten all three, but I would have been a lot closer. And then had a great start on the hards, but yeah, Gijs was just a bit too strong on the outside there, so I just had to let it go, just to avoid now massive contact, basically. But yeah, all the battles were clean. I was really enjoying it. There were a few tight moments, but I think overall, I think everybody is quite happy with how the racing was, at least at the front of the field. Don't know about the rear. Yeah, I mean, the safety car basically didn't really give us a good strategy, me and Zingy, and a lot of other cars as well. So I wasn't expecting the mediums to go all the way. I think I got a little bit of a flashback when Gijs spun in front of me. That's something I think I did when I was fighting for the win with Zingy on the last lap. I spun the exact place, so I flashed back that, and then all I had to do was just stay with Pursuin and Zingy and made some mistakes. We repassed each other all the times, and then Zingy just committed to the pit stop, and I didn't expect him to pit. I thought he was going to go to the end with me, but he obviously didn't feel like he could because he had a bit worse wear than me, which has been a case for a few seasons now, but I think this one was in particular exactly. But yeah, and then Pursuit disconnected in front of me, got a deja vu of myself, and then Zingy almost catching me at the end. I got a deja vu of I think 2 seasons ago, and a race where I caught someone on the banking of the final lap last game, and I thought it was gonna be me as well with how much he was catching me. But yeah, honestly, I'm so happy that I've won again. I think I've found something. There's something in this last few weeks I found which has improved my pace a lot, and I can't explain how happy I am just to compete for a position again without driving at the back knowing I could be a lot faster.
Thank you very much, Sniffo. Well said. That was epic, and it was very entertaining. So yeah, we appreciate that, and you do deserve it, even if Pursuin also deserves it. Even if many people deserve it, you still do deserve it. You still did a very good job, so please don't take that away from yourself. The next race, Abu Dhabi. Do you like it there?
Well, it hasn't been a really good track for me. I think I've been outpaced by a lot of drivers in the past. So I don't know. I'm just gonna. There's a week in between. There's a bit more practice, so we're just gonna have to wait and see. I just hope I don't have to drive for mediums for 26 laps and have 75 tire wear at the end.
Fair enough. Thank you very much, Nifo, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Congratulations, you've done it.
Thank you.
And that's been it for the post-race interviews. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you tomorrow for the Dutch Grand Prix for the F1.5 EU Championship. We'll see you next weekend for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Have a good one. Enjoy the race tomorrow. We'll see you. Bye-bye.